For our own success to be real, it must contribute to the success of others. Eleanor Roosevelt. Born on October 11, 1884, she lived a life of helping others. Her father told her to always respect poor people and to help in any way she could. It was a lesson she would never forget. A woman is like a tea bag. You can't tell how strong she is until you put her in hot water. Eleanor Roosevelt. She knew what she wanted. While other rich wives were hosting parties, Eleanor Roosevelt talked to politicians, gave speeches, and held press conferences to battle poverty, a major problem she spent her whole life solving. Eleanor Roosevelt didn't stop after FDR died in 1945. She helped Harry Truman, FDR's vice president, to win votes. In 1946, she was appointed as the delegate of the USA for the UN, helped create the UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and became the first chairperson of the UN Human Rights Commission. She was also a UN diplomat and humanitarian. She spoke about the rights of women and considered herself a suffragist. She fought for the civil rights of African and Asian Americans and brought warmth to soldiers at war. President Truman called her First Lady of the World. On November 1962, Eleanor Roosevelt died. Adlai Stevenson described her with, "She would rather light candles than curse the darkness, and her glow has warmed the world."
Hello there and welcome. I would like to talk to you about an individual who changed the face of modern India and thought of ideas centuries ahead of their time. Raja Ram Mohan Roy was born on 22 May 1772 to a privileged background and yet decided to devote his life to reforming certain Indian practices like the barbarism of sati or widow burning, which was still practiced at that time. He got Lord Bentinck to repeal it in 1829 and fought for the rights of women and for widow remarriage. For this reason, he is often called the first Indian feminist. He also understood that to rid society of its dogma and rituals, education and knowledge must be provided freely to the masses. To this end, he was instrumental in setting up a free press in India, a tradition that still lives on today, and was the first Indian to set up a modern scientific education in English, which led to the development of the college system and universities. He became, in fact, the first Indian ambassador to Britain, and so significant were his political views that the Constitution of Spain acknowledged Ram Mohan Roy as a world citizen. Who would have thought that 200 years ago, here was a man who advocated the abolition of passports and the creation of United Nations? Thank you.
Hello. Today I will be talking about the famous American tennis player Serena Williams. Serena Williams revolutionized women's tennis with her powerful style of playing and won more Grand Slam single titles than anyone else in the world during the Open era. She learned tennis from her father and would practice on the public courts of Los Angeles with her sister Venus. Serena turned professional in 1995. She completely dominated women's professional tennis along with her sister. She won 6 career US Open titles, 3 French Opens, 7 Wimbledon championships, and 7 Australian Opens. She was also a 7-time Olympic champion. Unfortunately, Serena hasn't played in a long time due to an injury in her right hamstring, which is taking a long time to heal. Nothing has been confirmed about her retirement, so it is unknown when or if she will ever return to tennis. No matter what, Serena Williams will forever be remembered as one of the greatest tennis players of all time, and someone who completely changed tennis history. Thank you for listening.
Hi there, I'm Ibrahim Al-Ali, and today we are going to talk about a person that made a huge positive impact in the history of science. This person died on January 7, 1943, at the age of 86 in New York City. where he had lived for nearly 60 years there. He had a photographic memory and he formulated an idea for smartphones 20 years before he had died. The person about whom I am talking about is Nikola Tesla. He is an idol to many people as he invented in 1891 the Tesla coil, an induction coil widely used in radio technology. But the bright side always has a dark side, as he was addicted to gambling where he would lose all his money in his early days. But his intelligent mind created such an extraordinary invention. And for those that might not know, Tesla, the multi-million-dollar car company that grew in popularity in the past few years, had been named after the electrical engineer that we are talking about today, Nikola Tesla.
Sadira, and today I'm going to be talking about Cleopatra. For nearly 3 decades, Cleopatra VII ruled ancient Egypt as a founder, first with her father, then her 2 younger brothers, and then her son. Ptolemy, who first served as a general under Alexander the Great during his conquest of Egypt in 332 BC, formed a dynasty of Macedonian emperors. Cleopatra was a well-educated and competent monarch who spoke several languages, commanded armies of 21, and her reign brought nearly 22 years of stability and prosperity. Her personal connections with military alliances with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony from Rome, as well as her alleged beauty and seduction skills, gained her a place in history and made her a popular legend. She ruled jointly with Alexandria, her brother, to whom she was also married until he had her exiled. She was later reinstalled as queen with military support offered by Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar then went to Egypt and lived with Cleopatra. He learned a lot about Egypt and also came back to Rome and tried to build new libraries, new infrastructures. Then he also changed the calendar, and that's what got him assassinated. After Caesar's death, political forces from Rome arrived, pleading for Cleopatra's help, and of course she had to help, because she had no choice but to support Octavian and Mark Antony in avenging Caesar for the sake of their son. Later, Cleopatra and Antony became a thing, but the relationship was a disaster. They offended the Republic with ridiculous celebrations until Octavian convinced the entire city of Rome of their megalomania. Octavian, on the other hand, was the one who assassinated Antony. He also seized Egypt and proclaimed himself as emperor. Romans' fear of a woman taking them over brought their republic to an end. Cleopatra's story was mostly passed down through the eyes of her enemies in Rome, with later writers filling in the gaps.
Today, I would like to talk about Amelia Earhart, a female that would change the world for the better. Born in 1897, Earhart was the first female aviator and second ever to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Along with this groundbreaking achievement, she also set numerous other records. She sold many best-selling books about aviation and encouraged other females to become pilots. From a young age, Earhart was interested in adventure and more hands-on activities. Soon after receiving her pilot's license in October 1922, she went on to set a women's altitude record of 14,000 feet in a single-engine biplane. Whilst crossing the Atlantic Ocean, she experienced many inconveniences that could have been fatal: a broken altimeter, rapidly changing weather, and flames coming out of the exhaust. Unfortunately, her aviation career would come to an end in 1937 when she attempted to make a circumnavigational flight around the world. That day, she disappeared over the Pacific Ocean, along with navigator Fred Noonan. While Earhart is long gone, her legacy lives on to be one of the most inspirational and encouraging stories that will never be forgotten.